All right, everybody, how you doing here? David Kurz, EXP Miami, hanging out with Andrew Franklin, EXP Texas.
Yes, sir, man. Glad to be here.
No, man. So I want to introduce you well. Number one team at EXP.
Yeah, just got announced a couple weeks ago. Yep.
Awesome, man. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And for many, many years, almost 3 decades, a top 10 REMAX team in Texas.
32 years. Yeah. So my dad started our team 35 years ago as an individual agent, Century 21, 3 years into it. Went to REMAX, what was a REMAX franchise owner. We were there for 32 years before about a year ago.
So now you're a top 10 team at REMAX for 32 years. And then what makes your team say, okay, guys, this is great, but we got to leave REMAX. We got to go EXP because what?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of things, and some of the things that it was is not some of the things that we like the most about it now. And so for us, originally it was about where we saw the industry going. We saw the brick and mortar offices be basically empty. We saw that we didn't really get much from them as far as a brand. We built our own brand. So we knew very early on that we were going to be able to keep our business flat at the worst case scenario, and that REMAX, or any brokerage for that matter, the brand mattered as much as the people you surround yourself with. Furthermore, the stock and rev share were a big piece for us originally. We saw the opportunity of ways to make money that had nothing to do with selling houses. And so we are always been a big multiple stream income kind of family. And so those pieces of the model really made sense to us. But since then, some of the coolest things about EXP is exactly why I'm talking to you right now. We have no connection. I did not bring you on to EXP. I'm a very busy guy. We're going to sell 1,100 homes this year, close to 400 million. And so I am here because this is what EXP is all about. We have a mutual buddy that brought you into EXP and said, hey, you wanted to talk to one of the top producers and do a quick little interview. And so that's why I'm here now, man. The whole company is willing to help you grow, even if you have no connection with them. We're all shareholders in the company. And so we didn't have that culture at REMAX. It was fine, but we sort of kept in our own lane. EXP, though, is just crazy with the amount of sharing and collaboration. And it's why we're going to be up about 20% since we left REMAX.
That's insane. So, and believe it or not, the culture piece and the collaboration was a big pull for me. It was actually bigger than the rev share and stockholder and all that other stuff. For me, I believe wholeheartedly that the more we collaborate, the bigger we all get, right? And so I'm a big believer in collaboration and like-minded individuals, and surround yourself with the right people, et cetera, et cetera. And I found that within EXP because, look, I was approached 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, I looked at Kevin, I smiled, and I said, thanks for passing by, buddy. You want a Coke on your way out?
We did the same thing.
I wouldn't even accept lunch with him, and he kept the follow-up strong. But I myself, I like to pay attention to what's happening on in the market everywhere.
No doubt.
And so I started to see more and more and more communication about EXP, what's happening, this and that. So I decided about 6-7 months ago that I was going to start traveling and talking to people who have made the move. And the number one thing that I found was that every single person I wanted to meet and discuss it with was open and able to discuss it, whether I was coming under them or not. It didn't matter, right? And that was big for me because in my brain somewhere, I thought everyone was going to be in a big fight to, I can't believe you got that guy. Like, it's not even about that. And I also found that people were very willing to share their numbers, talk about what an impact it made on them, their teams, their brokerages, whoever else. And when you have that kind of collaboration and you have that kind of culture, it does things like help a team who has been doing very well for 3 decades be up 20% year over year, you know, just based on collaboration, growth, and environment.
The rooms, I mean, and I think the biggest reason why that wasn't one of the main things for us is because we never had that previously. So we didn't realize how powerful it was. But the amount of stuff in the short 13 months we've been at EXP, we've been able to implement into our business that we didn't even know about because we were sort of in our own lane, has been astounding. And it completely is the biggest reason why we've been able to grow, is because it's all about the rooms you put yourself in. Right. And I didn't realize until we came to this company that we could learn. And it wasn't a cocky thing. We weren't, you know, oh, we know everything. We never have that mentality. But the difference of saying, oh yeah, we do builder business or we do internet leads. Now, because these people you align yourself with are business partners, shareholders in the same company, that how they do builder business or how they do internet leads or how they do that, people are more willing to share. And so it's not just, oh yeah, I'll take a meeting, I'll answer some questions. It's, hey, here's an agreement. Here's a step-by-step process of how I did it. And so the sharing, it exists at other companies, but I think because of how the rev share and the stock are, the sharing just gets ramped up to a whole new level.
If I help you, you're going to grow the company more, and I'm an owner, right?
Exactly.
And that's amazing in itself. Now, I like I said, I'm a big believer in that. I push for that 110%, and now I'm looking forward to seeing the benefits. I'm still new to the game, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing the benefits of being able to collaborate with teams like yours and say, you know, hey, Andrew, I have a team in Miami. This is what I do. What am I doing wrong, right? Like, how do I get to 1,100 homes and $400 million in business, right? And that's it right there. And I really believe something that you said a little bit earlier, and maybe we weren't even recording when you said it. Our team developed a brand for itself, and it didn't matter what brokerage we were at, we're going to sell property. But the fact that you're up 20% proves that you're with the right people, right? And that is huge. And I think if people could take advantage of that and grow their businesses, would be huge. And you never had that at REMAX. I've never seen it anywhere, except I'll be honest with you. My indie, before we merged with EXP, we were huge on collaboration, as you could hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
And so our agents were huge. And I'll be honest with you, our agents had massive growth joining our company. And it was great because we had the numbers to say, hey, look, guys, you joined Kurz Real Estate. This is what happens, you know? Now I'm talking to you, and we're talking way bigger numbers than my office was doing, right? We're 1,100 homes. I think your team did more than my entire brokerage did year to date, right? So that's true for a lot of brokerages out there.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about some misconceptions. I want to have fun with this because there are a lot of misconceptions out there. EXP doesn't have training.
I think the last thing I saw last week, there was something like 50 to 60 hours of live training.
I saw 2 weeks ago, 75 plus hours.
Yeah, and that you can get in the cloud. So, you know, I'm at my house right here, you know, I can go and do 60 hours of training right there. And that's another thing that you probably don't even realize is that since you're so new, is that because of the people that are coming here, there's a lot of people that have their own training and their own coaching. And so the 60 or 70 hours we're talking about, that doesn't even account for the training our group does. We're part of this group where there's a private Facebook group where they do their training 3 or 4 different things every week. And so because of how the financial model has sort of been aligned, that people are all about growth here. And so you couldn't even consume all the training that EXP has.
And it's funny because you say that, and that's something that we were really big about at Kurz Real Estate. We said, when we become Kurz Enterprise at EXP, we're not going to stop doing the online training webinars and things that we host. We're going to keep that going because people enjoy it, they thrive off it, and they succeed with it. So we're just going to add it to the additional 50, 60, 70 hours that EXP is already bringing to the table. So like, for instance, next week I'm hosting, or not next week, 2 weeks from now, I'm hosting a 2020 business planning event, right? Come in and learn how to business plan. Not only that, what's so important that it needs to be in a 2020 business plan, right? And I've got guest speakers coming, the whole nine. But that leads me to my next misconception, right? People who join EXP become recruiters and they stop selling.
Man, we heard that a lot in our marketplace because there were some decent sized producers in Houston, but not like mega teams, not in the top 25 of the mega teams. And so we were the first one. And very early on, we heard that about ourselves, that we're going to quit our day job. We're just going to recruit. And then 6 months in, we're up like 20%. And then we start getting, I think we have 4 of the top former 15 REMAX teams in the state have now joined us at EXP, us being one of them. And so that we sort of laugh about because all of us are selling a lot of homes. I think out of the 230 people we've been a part of bringing on in the 13 months we've been here, I think we're doing total like $1 billion of transactions. So yes, our 400 million is a big piece of it, but we got a $90 million team, $150 million team. And so in Texas, at least, and I don't know the numbers of other states, but in Texas, we're becoming one of the biggest producers of selling homes than any other brokerage around. Yes, there's Keller Williams and REMAX still have a lot more agents, but I mean, we're selling a ton of homes out here in other marketplaces too.
Like it doesn't even matter how many agents you have in your company. It's what matters is how much are you selling at your company. That's
exactly
the real thing.
Yeah, and so yes, we've enjoyed the rev share, we've enjoyed the stock, but our day job is to grow. We'll do about 6 million at GCI this year. We want to do 10 within 2 years. So our ultimate focus will always be selling more real estate and helping our agents sell more real estate. And that's not going to change at all. It's just these other things are pretty cool too.
Right. All right. So here, I got another one for you. Misconception or myth or whatever, or objection. Let's call this one an objection. That's a better one. I'm afraid to join EXP because it won't have the name brand for my mega team or my luxury team.
Yeah, and that was one of our it wasn't a big worry, but that was one of our things that we were worried about early on because we came from the balloon. The balloon. Everyone knows it has a good brand. It's been around a long time. They have a lot of big producers. And we had 130 listings when we came over. And we started to talk to all of our sellers before we even announced. Because in Texas, you have to get a transfer of listing form. And everyone has the ability to not move forward because they have to sign something that says, hey, this new brokerage I'm going to, you can stay with your brokerage or you can, you cannot sign the form and go somewhere else. And by the time our transition was done, I think we had 140 listings. Not only did no one cared that we were going away from the balloon, from REMAX to EXP, we picked up listings during that period of time. And so that misconception, your brand, no matter if you're an agent selling 5 homes or you're selling 500 homes, your brand or why you get a deal is because of you. It's not because of your brokerage. You're the one building the relationship. You're the one going to a for sale by owner and talking to them. You're the one going to an open house, and they're not hiring you because you're you're independent or REMAX or Keller Williams or EXP. And so, and if brokers have you convinced that's going to be the case and that's going to get you business, why aren't all of them at these XYZ brokerages doing well? There's good producers, there's bad producers at every brokerage.
Even the top luxury brokerages have horrible producers in them and great.
Of course.
Of course. Every single broker is exactly the same. So that being said, I don't know your average price point, nor do I really care to ask, but there's a luxury concern. So are you familiar with the luxury side of the business? Like people doing $2, $3, $4 million deals on average? And second to that question is, how do you feel they or you or whomever has taken on EXP and been like, this is great for my luxury brand?
Well, I mean, I think EXP, they're doing a lot of the same stuff as the luxury. They have a luxury designation. They have a lot of luxury training. And so just like anything else, you have to know what to go after. So we do some luxury ourselves. I would say we're sort of on the, we're not only luxury, obviously, if we're selling 1,100 homes, but we do a lot. And I think it's the same thing we talked about before. I think you need to know how to do it. You need to know how to network to that clientele. And they're not hiring you because you're with Compass or REMAX. I mean, they're hiring you because you network with them. Maybe in certain very niche markets, that matters to a very small percentage of luxury sellers and buyers. But I personally, we've done $4 or $5 million deals all the time out here, and not one cared that I was with REMAX or EXP or XYZ. And so EXP does have that training and they have that designation, and they're continuing to get more and more of those luxury producers. But I still don't think that has anything to do with if you get a luxury deal. I mean,
yeah, I don't believe it does either. And you did mention something. You said very niche markets, and Miami happens to be one of those niche markets, right? Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, home of the waterfront mansion, right?
Yeah.
And more so than LA or anywhere else, to be real honest with you. And we are, the boating capital of the nation. We're like this is it here. So we do have, the Douglas Ellimans, the Compasses, the One Sotheby's, we have all the luxury names here. But I agree with you. I think a very small percentage of the luxury buyer or seller actually cares who you're with. They care more about what you've done. What's your resume?
Absolutely.
Right? And so
or what kind of relationship you have with them.
Right. That's another one. You could just have a great relationship with them. I mean, I think my largest sale was 5.2. And I'm not afraid to say it in Miami, 5.2. And I wanted to get higher. And we're chasing some $20 million, $15 million deals, $17 million deals. And they don't care. They really don't.
They want to know. They want to know: are you the best person to sell it for the highest number?
Hey guys, I just want you to know I'm making this move. And they'll pick my brain about it. Well, why are you making the move? And you own your own brokerage. Like, let's talk about that. And I explained it to them. They go, man, it sounds pretty interesting. I'm interested in seeing more about it.
Yeah.
And so that's a win. What would you say to someone, and we'll close it up, what would you say to someone who is a good producer at REMAX, Keller Williams, Douglas Elliman, One Sotheby's, Compass? I can go on with the names and names and names and names, but what would you say to these guys that they're missing out on at EXP?
I mean, I think it's a lot of the stuff we touch, but I would say my biggest piece of advice is be open about it, man. We heard this model a couple years before we joined. A good buddy of ours, we didn't spend 5 seconds to look at it, and we're kicking ourselves. With everything that we just talked about, with the sharing and collaboration and masterminding and training and stock and all that stuff. I literally was just on the phone with my dad, who started our company, and we were talking about that conversation, that someone presented us this model that's been an absolute game changer for us, and we weren't open to look at it. And we'll take a lender meeting, we'll take an insurance meeting, because we always learn something. But for whatever reason, when we were approached that one time before, we were closed-minded. And so what does it hurt to hear about it and learn about the model? There's a reason it's the fastest growing brokerage of all time. No matter if you like it, you don't want to recruit, you don't like stock, all that stuff, there's got to be there's something there. And so I would say talk to someone and learn about it. It might not be a good fit. That's why there's 100 different brokerages out there, is because there's different fits for different people. But if you don't know what's out there, then how are you going to make an informed decision?
That's awesome. I think I think everyone needs to hear it. It's funny that you said that because, like I said, 2 years ago I was approached and I was like, you got to go, man.
It's an ego thing. It's an ego.
It is. I think people do need to be open to hearing it out. I really do. And you're right. Maybe it does. Maybe it's not for you. But I think it could be absolutely phenomenal for so many people. So, man, thanks for spending some time with me today.
Of course, man.
And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. Hearing your numbers, I'm going to be taking a flight out to Texas. So expect a shadow coming soon to an office.
I would prefer I come out to Miami, man. You got a cooler place to be.
I hear you, man. I gotta see your operation, man. I gotta see your operation. I gotta bring it home. You know.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime, man. I know this won't be our last conversation. I appreciate the interview, and if I can do anything for you, let me know, and I'll probably be reaching out to sort of hear about your business more as well.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much for doing this with me.
All right, man. Take care, buddy.